That's right, that's right. Well, who have I got here with me today?
Wade Altman.
Thank you for your time, Wade. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Appreciate you having me.
Thank you for Coax for letting me use this wonderful room.
Absolutely. Gorgeous room. Fabulous. Very well designed and constructed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very convenient downtown Lakeland. Anybody, the whole community goes in and out. So where are you originally from?
Well, I'm originally from my mom.
Just like all of us. We all have that little bit in us, don't we?
I was actually born in Springfield, Missouri.
I'm a Missouri mule. I was
Is
born in
that right?
Missouri.
Is that right?
Yeah, Kansas City, Missouri.
Kansas City. Okay. All right.
I'm a Missouri mule myself.
Not far from Springfield.
Well, I'll be doggone. And how long did you stay there? Was you
No,
high school,
well, I was
grade
only
school?
born there really, and then we lived. My parents lived in a community not too far from there for just a few years. I was too little to remember it, but then what I do remember is when we moved much closer to St. Louis, which is where my childhood. I spent all my childhood basically, and went to school and everything there.
So you've seen the Arch many times.
Didn't see the Arch until I moved away and came back.
What? Are you kidding me?
I'm the middle of 7 children, and my dad was not independently wealthy, so we didn't do a lot of those extracurricular things, and the Arch was just one of those things that just did not happen as a child. So when I was grown and came back to visit as a married man with children, then I finally took my kids up in the Arch.
Yeah. I've been there like 2 or 3 freaking times now that I took my kids. That's exactly what I took my kids. And then I came up with this little idea of an arch for I Am Lakeland. And it kind of matches that. So I'm actually in the middle of right now trying to find an influencer in St. Louis that will wear my shirt and do a little boogie dance or whatever they do underneath the arch in Lakeland and try to put 2 and 2 together.
Nice.
So did you go to school in St. Louis, college or?
Well, I did. My dad sort of picked us up in the middle of my senior year in high school.
Oh man, that's gotta suck.
Yeah, it did. And brought us down to Plant City.
Oh, PC.
And so I actually did the last half of my senior year. Actually, the day before Thanksgiving, my senior year, we arrived at Plant City, if you know.
Was it a job transfer or something?
Yeah, looking for something different. So, so graduated from Plant City High School.
What year?
Well.
I got some in-laws that graduated from there. My brother-in-law graduated in 85.
It was 84.
No, you might know him. Will Barker.
I didn't know too many people there because I was just trying to hold on for dear life.
Okay. Well, he was number 2. He was the valedictory number 2, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it, because I married a Plant City girl myself.
Oh, okay. Well, that was the extent of my tenure in Plant City was they were Thanksgiving until pretty much that summer, and then I went back up to near St. Louis. It's considered St. Louis, but it's outside of St. Louis to college, where I got a fantastic education.
That's wonderful.
From Jefferson College there, robotics. So.
Oh wow. You were interested in the technical turn?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So you were about my age, and that's when just before the internet started and all that, 94, 95, 93 and all that.
Yeah.
I was into it too.
So yeah.
That's the only reason I know how to do websites is because I started early like that. I didn't get in there engineering and all that. I tried to take C programming. And I took the first course, barely passed, and the technology changes so damn much. Tell me about Florida Tech. How did you start into Florida Tech?
Well, I left St. Louis in '91, pretty much went around the world, and ended up right here in good old Lakeland, where Mommy and Daddy were.
Okay, so they moved.
Because I came back with no money, no car, no job, and a new wifey.
And 10 years under your belt?
I'm like, hey, Mom, Dad, hi, how you doing?
Okay.
So,
that's nice to be able to rely on your mom and dad to have a place.
It's fantastic. They were empty nesters by that point, so we spent about a year or so with them, maybe a year and a half or 2, and then we got a place. So anyway, short story long, from there I started working at a TV station over in Clearwater, Largo I think it's called actually, and I was there for about 4 or 5 years, and I was sitting there one day, and I worked in engineering, and we had just gotten some new computers. the management, leadership, whatever, decided we're gonna have a network, and they didn't know what it was. Nobody knew.
LAM.
Yeah, hey, we're gonna be like everybody else. So they got some computers, and none of the other engineers were interested at all. And I was the new kid on the block. I'm like, well, hey, listen, oops, hit the mic. I'm the new kid on the block. I'm like, well, hey man, I'll do it. I'll be the admin, And so I just dove right in, and a short time later, I'm sitting at my desk, and I go, sort of thinking a little too much, like I do sometimes, and I said, the future's in computers. And that was probably about 97. And I could not even imagine, these years.
Yeah,
many years
no,
later,
that's
like,
good.
no, wait, the light bulbs are computerized, the light switches, the
That's
microphones,
right.
the cups, everything is
Internet of
computer.
Things.
Yeah, literally, So anyway, that's when I transitioned from television to basically IT, and worked for a guy for about 5 years, and realized, I really would like the freedom of being able to choose what I feel is best for the client and work together with the client. How do you feel? Well, from a professional viewpoint, here I have option A and option B. They're both great. Here's the advantages of each, the disadvantages of each. They'll both work for you. And so the rest is history. And that was, actually, it was 20 years ago last month. So October of 03.
Yeah, that 97 to 2000, 2002, somewhere in there. I don't know if you remember, used to have the Microsoft certification, MSCE or MSCNE. I was pursuing that, baby, because I was taking computer program networking. It was getting big. I was like, I can be I can get my Microsoft certification. Yeah. Dude, that stuff moves so fast. I couldn't keep up.
It absolutely does. Several years ago, as I pondered too much, I'm sitting there thinking, I said, you know what? Boy, if you don't just really embrace change, don't get in this industry.
That's right.
Because that is the constant.
That's right. Something you did yesterday
changed.
may be different tomorrow. That's right.
Yeah.
So what about Florida Tech? Did you start there, or do you work there, or what's the?
Well, that is kind of the third iteration. 03, I started with a partner, and he decided he wanted to move on to other things. By 07, which he did, it was on my own for several years. I'm like, this is too much work. I don't want to be about I want a team, not just one dude running around. It's too much work to do what my vision is for a tech company, outsourced tech company. So did that on my own for about 5 years, and then 2013 I merged with another guy here in town, and he decided he wanted to move on.
It happens.
He was older. He'd done his time, so
Yeah.
he's ready to move on. So I bought out his half of the company. In 2013 is when we formed Florida Tech Group. So, and then I bought the name and everything from him back in 2017. So,
And things. What kind of services do you guys provide?
great question.
What are the detailed questions, the issues?
So we do everything related to computers, servers, networks, including Wi-Fi, phone systems, surveillance cameras. So that's the bulk of what we do.
So the nitty gritty. If someone gets a virus, they call you.
Right. Yeah.
If someone's network is down.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh.
And what we really, the thing that has two things that have really transformed the industry in terms of for small business owners like you and me and everyone, all my clients, is the internet really, because it has allowed us to perform off-site backups now. Because in my close to 30 years of doing IT, I can count on less than one hand. I think there are two clients that I've had over all these years that were actually methodical and mechanical, or whatever you want to call it, regimented enough to actually check their backups, even do the backups, much less check them, because we just we're
granted.
human beings. We hey, I'll get it next time. Oh, tomorrow, yeah. Oh, it's been a week. Oh man, I got it. 2, 3 weeks, months. And I had one client. Oh, God bless them. They just didn't have any backup for like a year. They had no backups.
Wow.
And their server crashed because it was old and they didn't maintain it and didn't get a new one and didn't get an upgrade, and it was very, very costly for them.
But they stayed
very,
in
very
business?
costly. Yeah, I was able to retrieve probably
Oh, you
95% of their data. It
Oh, that's
cost them a
awesome.
lot, but yeah, it was
Wow.
way more expensive than maintaining backups. So now we do off-site backups, which is fantastic. And then also because we have good internet connection in most places, especially in town, is to be able to remotely monitor and manage people's networks. And that's the favorite part of what we do because it really lowers the stress in your life as the business owner and in our life as the service provider, because many times the system tells us, the remote management system notifies us that there's a problem starting to happen. Maybe a disk drive's getting full, maybe a disk drive's having errors, maybe your memory is all kinds of different errors regarding memory. Maybe you're running too high on memory, or errors in memory, different things like that. All kinds of things that really lowers our stress, which of course it's quite high in my line of work because
Sure. Well, having that peace of mind though, of knowing I'm paying someone, they've got my records backed up. If something happens, I got the backup.
we've used
And
it
you're the
many
one
times.
who's responsible. Many times.
We've used it many times. Our clients have had to use it many times.
Do you know how I learned? Like DOS. You remember DOS?
Mm-hmm.
I freaking deleted my auto exec bat. I deleted so many files and had to reinstall and rebuild it. That's how I learned those, by breaking it. You know, you delete these files like, what the hell did I just do? I remember putting my 3.1 disc, 4.25 inch disc back in to reinstall it because I had deleted too much and that was it. Yeah, and your INI file, all that, remember those days?
Bat files and
Yeah. I remember when the tape, like you said, the backup, when the backups were cassette, a little cassette that you put in the tower.
Yeah, those are still newer than the old way, but I hated those things because they were terribly unreliable. They were
I know
terribly.
restoring was like,
I hated having to sell a customer. I had to sell a client, some $700 backup tape drive. I'm like, the odds are about 60% that it's going to work well.
yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I hate this, but that's all we had at the time. So love what we have now, and it's just, love it. Love technology.
And you work on all platforms, Microsoft,
Microsoft,
Apple,
Mac, Apple, Mac, Linux,
Linux, yeah.
Unix, love Unix.
Unix.
Unix and Linux, which
LS.
Mac is built on Unix, by the way. Super.
Yeah, I remember LS command and the DIR. But I remember those days too. I miss those days. I'm just sitting there just.
You miss those days, but not enough to try to do that for a living.
That's right. Oh no way.
And even for it's too much work, even for fun. No,
Well, I can break your stuff really well. If you want me to come in and break it, I'm the man to break it. But restoring, even to this day, my wife complains to me because she'll hear me say a word that's not supposed to be said, and I deleted that mother. So even to this day, I delete stuff I shouldn't delete and should remember, and download my website and all that stuff.
Yeah. You definitely should keep copies of your website.
Well, that's fantastic to hear. So, and you're here local. You service Polk County.
Yep, pretty much all of Central Florida. We literally will go anywhere as long as you're willing to pay for the travel, whether it's driving or flying. But realistically, you're going to find somebody, in your neck of the woods. Never have flown to service clients. The farthest we've gone is Jacksonville. We had a client up there that had a Unix server. A great
That's
little IBM
fantastic.
Unix server.
And everything now solid state memory. Is there any of the old disk drives? Have they replaced all of the?
No, there's still a lot of those out there. Those are a great solution for video recorders, for camera recorders, because you don't need a whole lot of really fast access to the drives. So you can get a whole lot of storage space for a great value.
Oh, good point. I never even thought about that.
And surprisingly enough, solid state components so far have been not as reliable as I would have expected.
Are you serious?
There's still
I've never
what
seen a
I
failure
consider
yet.
a pretty high failure.
Okay, yeah, you're on a different scale.
Well,
I've
this
never
is
seen them
right.
fail.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've had several. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, this is solid state. There's no moving parts. But however it's manufactured,
Yeah.
I guess they're trying to, eke out every little, because they deal in tenths of pennies, and then it's multiplied, it's multiplied by,
I think they've
100,000 or a million scale. So that's a tenth of a penny ends up being a lot of money.
I've heard they can get, I want to say billion, but I'm not, I'm going to say millions of transistors.
Yeah, it is.
Now.
Oh yeah, at least millions for sure, yeah.
I can't believe that. That is small.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And reliable. I mean, the processors work. They do what they're supposed to.
Oh yeah.
The new, they're on M3s in Apple, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I got an M1.
Yeah.
Well,
Love technology. Love it.
how, if somebody wants to get in contact with you, how do they get in contact with you?
They should go to our nice new website that I finally got done, updated, FloridaTechGroup.com.
Fantastic.
FloridaTechGroup.com.
And is there any local
That's the best way.
charities or public services interest you?
Many. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to give back to my community, especially to volunteers, because if you volunteer for anything, it's not a joke. And your time is worth more than your money.
That's right.
So one of my favorites is probably LVIM, Lakeland Volunteers in Mission. In medicine, Lakeland Volunteers
Yeah,
in
the retired
medicine.
doctors.
Yeah,
and
and
nurses.
a lot of great people. I've known several people over the years that have worked at or still work at LVIM, and it's a fantastic ministry. What a blessing to all the working people that they can get great health care that's at least as good as going to, the regular places.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Another great one I really like supporting is One More Child, which used to
Another
be,
local.
I think, Florida Baptist Children's Home or Baptist Children's Home. I think Florida Baptist Children's Home. Anyway, they changed the name a while back, and
That's wonderful.
have a buddy that works there, and he's a super guy. And
I noticed that also, I've been to a workshop or two of yours. You guys do workshops here periodically as well, right?
well, I try to present when I can in local chambers and stuff, help educate people on primarily the seriousness of security, because I find small business people that work in, whether it's the owners or the users, it doesn't matter. I think as human beings, we tend to start from the place of, well, everybody's like me, because we know ourselves really, really well.
That's right.
And so we just start with, well, hey, Don is a good guy. Well, how'd you come up with that? Because you think you're a good guy?
Because I think I'm a good guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and most of us, we think we're good people, and most of the people I know in this world, we try to do what's right, treat your neighbor the way you want to be treated. Okay. Well, there are very evil people in this world that are not like us, Don, and trying to get that through to small business owners, like, man, don't you understand the risk? It just.
Yeah.
It
If you don't know, you don't
drives
know.
me, drives me out of my mind
Lack of
sometimes. I'm
education.
like, no, you need a more secure password. Password 1 doesn't cut it. A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4 doesn't cut it. Doing sequential numbers 1 through whatever doesn't cut it. I mean, those are all in a database. There's a handful of databases out there that are, 1,000 entries long that are the most common passwords, and it's just like, I
It's a
see
matter of
so many
time.
people, so I'm like, the one thing that I kind of get really passionate about, maybe a little bit too passionate, I think I kind of scare some people, because I go, what are you doing? I kind of get a little too animated, but
You
it's
only
like,
want to help.
I'm trying to help, say, listen, no, they're not nice. No, they're not going to say, okay, well, you caught me, here's your money back. No, listen, there are as many crooks in the U.S. stealing electronically as there are in all the, percentage-wise, okay, per capita, right, then, is there all around the world, and they know this. It's real simple. Steal money from IP addresses in another country. They're not going to come here. They're just not.
Yep.
They emptied out your payroll account, and well, you're never going to see the money.
Yeah.
There's not a 3-letter alphabet soup agency of the government that's going to even take your phone call.
There's no IP police.
No. The local police, Grady Judd, love the guy. He's not going to go get your money.
That's right.
He's trying to get the freaking serial killers and the rapists and the drug dealers right here in Polk County.
He's doing a damn
He's
good
not
job.
going.
Him and his team.
His team, yeah, that's right. He's not going to go to Russia, China, South America. Canada even. No, he's not even gonna go to Georgia or Arkansas. He's not even gonna go to Hillsborough County. So
Yeah.
please protect yourself. Get long passwords that are, it doesn't have to be this crazy, I can't remember it to save my life stuff. It just has to be a lot of characters and a nice mix of 3 of the 4 criteria, which is number, uppercase, lowercase letters, and special character. If you just pick any 3 of those 4 and make it 10, 11, 12 characters long, you basically, and change it once in a while, you can't just keep that forever, because once someone does get your password, they're gonna keep that. They're gonna keep it, trying everything in the world with that. And by the way,
They buy and sell it on the dark
don't,
web.
and and they don't sit here in a hoodie, in the dark. A machine does all the work. They don't do it. The machine can just sit there and try the next number, try the next letter over and over and over again. And we had a client recently. They wanted to take it the cheap way, small business, and they didn't have a strong firewall, and so they wanted remote access. Well, guess what? It's going to find the open ports. And what did the cracking machine do? One of the users' name was a fairly common name in the world. So guess what? Next thing you know, that user got locked out from too many retries. At least we had their server set up so that after like 10 retries.
10, wow.
Because sometimes you'll do it 3 or 4 times before you realize the caps lock on and you keep hitting the wrong key. Which,
give them a little bit of room.
Being in business 25, close to 30 years, I still sometimes like, man, I know that's the password.
I do that same thing.
I know. And the 3rd time I'm like, okay, listen.
That's right. And 100% of the time, I'm wrong. 100% of the time, I'm the one that's wrong. The computer don't think for itself.
Whatever I'm doing, I don't know if I had too much coffee or not enough or something, but I'm missing the key somewhere. And it said, listen, I know the password. I've typed this thing 1,000 times.
I've cursed out Facebook so many times. It's not funny. Facebook, I know my password. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, I really would like to stress the importance of backups. Because along with that, the 2 things are still so critical for small businesses: your backups and your password, your credentials. Because one of the ways they love stealing, and they just love it, is they encrypt all your files. There is no way to get your files back. There's no way in the world. They aren't going to give your files back. They may. It's 1 out of 100, because they're just here to steal your money. They're not here to be nice to you. They just want your money.
Are there stats on people who did pay a ransom and got their stuff back, or do they just usually run with the money?
I've read that before, but I wouldn't want to actually say, give you some.
It's probably.
It's very, very low.
Some where they wouldn't keep doing
it. It's very low. Because very few small businesses, they just laugh and go on their way. And it's free money for them. They're getting the next one. It's all automated. All they do is just money gets straight to their account, and they're just happy. Right?
How much did we get this week? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that is some great advice. Change your passwords and back up your stuff. Well, thank you, Wade. I appreciate your time very much.
Absolutely. Well,
Is there anything I can do for you? Let me know.